Josh, you were the first to be evicted from the Big Brother house. How are you feeling?
A bit stitched up, Amber, to be honest, because the edit wasn't how it seems whatsoever. So I feel like, they did good TV, but really this ties them back from the bus they ran over me with.
Wow, okay, that's interesting to know. And you were part of this J Squad. What was going on there?
Okay, Amber, so I walk into the house, right, and I think I necked 2 glasses of red wine, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep mine and Sam's knowing each other's secrets. So the first thing I tell Sam was like, pretend we don't know each other, because it's not going to be good for our game plan. And then I was like, I went outside and I just told Johnson everything. And I was like, dude, this is the thing. I made Big Brother put her on the show so we could hang out because it was peak COVID. And I'm on here to show the kind of person I am. But I packed an overnight bag to go on the show because I was one of the primary carers for my friend dying of cancer. So I never intended to save the duration. I just wanted to use Channel 7 to hang out with Sam for a little while and had organised it.
What? Are you serious?
100%. I wouldn't, yeah. I mean, what do you do? But I was pretty lonely from COVID for about 2 years, just essentially being a primary carer. And I bounced it off my friend. I was like, hey, Big Brother's approached me to go on their show. I don't think I can do it, so I don't want to leave you. And he goes, I'll still be here when you get back. So why don't you get them to do something that you want? And I was like, what, Jeffy? He goes, why don't you get them to put Sam on the show? Because me and Sam had hung out a couple of months before that. And he just saw how happy I was. And so I was like, Jeffy, that's genius. And I was like, I'll be right back. And so that's what I organised. That's what I did. I pack an overnight bag. I go in there to hang out. And when she says that she doesn't feel the same way, I'm like, I totally respect that. I also don't really want to be here because my granddad had a stroke 2 days ago and my best friend's dying of cancer. So I don't think I can survive in here because I can't. My heart's not in it. My head's not. And so, yeah, I pretty much campaigned really hard to leave and they didn't show that. But I make people shake my hand saying, please send me home. And they do.
Oh, my God. And so you actually made them put Sam on the show so you could hang out. That was like your tactic to, to get on the show. You were like, well, if you want me, you need to put Sam on so I can see her.
Yeah. So they approached me for Survivor first by stumbling across my Instagram and they were just like, you are batshit crazy. Not even the bats in China would want to bite you. And I was just like, yeah, I know. And so they were like, will you do Survivor? And this is a bit of a shocker, but I'm not the craziest person out of even my siblings. And my sister's actually been on a reality TV show before. She was on First Dates Australia ages ago, and she terrifies me. I love her, but I was like to her, I was like, hey, do you want to do Survivor together in this blood one? And she goes, I can't. Like, it's COVID, I've got a daughter, I'm a hairdresser, I can't do it. And I was like, all right, well, how about you come at me with a $250,000 and 43-day plan? And I called them back and said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And then they said, what about Big Brother? And that's when Jeffy had this idea. He goes, get him to put Sam on. And I said, okay, because we weren't even allowed to cross the border at that stage. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I bounced the idea off Sam. I said, hey, Sam, before anyone calls you, I want to put you forward to Big Brother to hang out. Is that a good idea? And she's like, oh, my God, I love it. And I was like, pretend we don't know and you don't know. But I was not going to do the show unless, I thought it was going to be the chance of us getting together.
Oh, okay. So she actually knew that, she already knew about it. So you had contacted her and told her, hey, this is the deal.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to, but I wasn't going to be in that situation and just, leave it to chance. So,
yeah. And so you guys, dated 5 months prior? Did it fizzle out or was there still kind of contact happening? Like, what happened, when you were kind of seeing each other and dating?
We weren't dating. So we met 6 years before that on a Tinder date, and we were trying to see each other, but we lived on opposite sides of the city, and it was pretty difficult. And then I got a job in Malaysia, and I was like, oh, Sam, I'll fly you over to come hang out in Malaysia. And I ended up not being able to afford it because I didn't get paid to the end of my contract. And so we fizzled out. I ended up hooking up with my Russian housemate. And when I got back to Melbourne, I was just sending her a message and she was like, nah, I don't feel it. Like, you hurt me. And I was like, it's totally understandable. So a few years go past and she ends up passing through town. I was like, can I come stay with you? And I was like, absolutely. And stayed with me for a week. And she was on her way moving up to Noosa. And once she moved to Noosa, pretty much bam, COVID locks down the borders. And so I was still like, oh, I think I've want to pursue this. I had so much fun with you. And, yeah, that's essentially, like, how and why it happened.
Oh, my God. And so, look, you were quite emotional over your feelings. What made you feel so emotional when you were talking to Sam in the Big Brother house?
I think I was either explaining about my granddad and my best friend, and I felt a bit used in a sense, because I was like, oh, I thought this would be the start of our love story. And then once you got confirmed, you said, I don't want any expectations. And so I was just like, holy cow, am I just here for absolutely no reason? And essentially I was.
Yeah, because you're putting in some deep quotes there about the ocean and the depth of the ocean. That was quite, that was lovely.
Yeah, that's what annoys me, is because I think I was talking about like my parents, and I wanted what my grandparents have, because they are my benchmark of like how you should treat each other in a relationship. Yeah. And I was just like, I want that fairy tale love. And that's what I was explaining to her. I was just like, this is how I care. It's like, I will move mountains. Like, I put you on the bloody show just to hang out for a few days. And she's like, I don't feel the same. I was like, that hurts to hear, but I respect that. And I just want to go home, because I don't want to be a negative impact. But I think there's some more stories that I'm not allowed to tell that I was just going to bring up on finale night. Like, just be like, you know what? I got a bigger bomb to drop here.
Oh my God. Is there anything you can tell me, Josh?
No. Let's just say, yeah, no. I'm not even sure if I want to, but it's, I think someone else will tell that story.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily mine to tell.
Right. Because, look, we see that Sam is going to get cozy with return housemate Drew. How does that make you feel?
At the time, because this was about 7 months ago, because I got, the house, I campaigned really hard to keep Sam and Estelle there. But not that Estelle needed any help whatsoever. She was always going to be safe. And then it was just radio silence from everyone for 30-odd days. And so I'm just there living my life. And I get a phone call from one of my Sam's mutual friends being like, oh, she's out of the house. And I was like, that's weird. She hasn't called me. And I gave her a phone call, and she was like, oh, I've just got out. Like, I'm not prepared to talk. And I was like, what? Which I should have respected her a bit more and given her some time, because she literally just got out the night before and probably got kicked out at 3 a.m. like I did. And I was like, why don't you want to talk? And then she's like, oh, a lot of stuff went down. I was like, you jumped into bed with someone, didn't you? She was just like, how do you know? And I was just like, I was just hazarding a guess. And I was really upset. I was actually at a party when we had that phone conversation. And I sat in this paddock in Byron and just had a little bit of a cry, being like, I've just embarrassed myself. And I just thought, I want someone to talk to. I just need someone to talk to about this experience that can tell me, like, what goes on. And I kid you not, Joel, who lives in Newcastle, walked in front of me and he goes, hey, Josh. And I thought I just manifested him out of thin air. I was like, are you real? I had 10 margaritas at that stage. I was like, are you real? And he's just like, yeah. And I took a video of him, and then I played it back to myself on my phone being like, he is real. And I grabbed someone else at this party and I was like, look at this guy. Is he real? And they were just like, yeah. And I thought I was like losing my mind. And so Joel sat down there with me, and we had a chat. Like literally half an hour after I got off the phone with Sam, not talking to anyone in the house, I bloody had him appear at a party.
Wow. And what did he have to say about Sam and Drew?
He just explained it a bit, and I was just like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I was just like, oh, well, it hurts. But, we just talked about how crazy the experience was and, how did you feel in the house? And I was like, I just felt like I never settled because I was always everywhere. But I was not prepared for, because I'd never seen the show before, was like your diet changes straight away. You have apples, bananas, pasta. And the sleeping is that I've spent the last 8 years by myself with my dog. And when you go into the bed, like it was so bright in there and the bed was so comfortable. I was just sleeping on the floor, making myself a little tent every night. And I don't even think I went to the toilet for the first 5 days. I was just like, I think with everyone in the house is that you're literally just running on adrenaline until you get a chance to kind of settle in. And so all the OPs like, the first week's the hardest, And I was like, I haven't even gone to the toilet this week. And
you might need to get that checked out, Josh.
oh no, they put me a few laxatives and along with everyone else, and they were just like, good luck with everything. And I was like, there's a bloody camera in there. How do I know someone's not watching me go to the toilet?
So Josh, are you still like in love with Sam, or do you still have feelings for Sam?
No, not at all. I've got a partner, because this is 7 months ago, and
Partner.
yeah, I've got a partner, and it's great. And yeah, no, I don't. Me and Sam don't even talk. That's probably more so me pushing her away, because she has reached out a few times, and I was just like, you know what, I just don't see a point really.
Yeah. Do you think she's still with Drew, or do you know she's still with Drew?
She's not. No, but that's their
interesting.
story to tell, I guess. I've got no idea what happens there, but no, that one didn't last too long.
Yeah, wow. And so would you have done anything differently if you had your time again?
Yes, 100%. I mean, when the producers approached me, I should have probably put my crazy sister on and kept that a secret, because we know we love each other, and like, she has such a huge personality that I am dwarfed in comparison to her, that she would have torn the game apart. Like, yeah. And so I would have just teamed up with her, and it would have made for incredible TV.
Oh, well, we're sad that we didn't get to see more of you, Josh, and all your antics.
Oh, like when they ask you for the show, like you do an interview and all that sort of stuff, they're like, what do you bring to the show? And I said, I am a hustler. I don't even think they were realising that I was hustling them to hang out with Sam. And so I told a story about, I was living in Sydney, I was a poor model, and I had $28 to my name. And my other sister calls me, and she goes, from Melbourne, she goes, babe, what time are you getting to my engagement party tomorrow?
Oh.
And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, am I picking you up from the airport? And I totally forgot, and I had no money to get there. I was like, do I hop trains? What do I do? And so I went to the Not Quite Right store. I bought a stamp and 2 T-shirts from bloody Vinnie's or something like that. And I went to the Bondi Stretch, and I charged people door entry into free pubs and bars. I was like, hi, $25 entry, stamp me free drink, it's valid in 1 hour. By the time they went in there to check their drink, I was already down to the next street, and I made $900 in 3 hours. I fly home, get a taxi to my sister's engagement party, and buy her a present on the way. And she goes, so glad you made it. And I said, no worries. And I ended up living on her couch for the next month.
Oh, my God. Wow, you really are a
And so they were like, holy cow. And I was like, yeah, when I was living in China, same thing. I had no money. I ripped open a pillowcase, spray painted the feathers silver, and sold them as lucky koala feathers for $1 each. And I made about $800 off a pillowcase.
Oh, my God.
It's, yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, Josh, I have 2 more questions for you, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, can I please get your favourite person in the house? Take Sam out of the equation for everything. Favourite person in the house, go.
Reggie, hands down.
Yep, and least favourite.
Least favourite, I really couldn't get along with Lara.
Okay.
Oh man, that was the one. I was just like, what are you doing in here?